Rebel Moon Director's Cut Part 1 Chalice of Blood from 2024. Spoiler warning. Spoiler warning. Spoiler warning. If you enjoy this video, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment letting me know if you believe the director's cut or the original cut of Rebel Moon is better, why or why not, or if you think it doesn't make a difference either way. And please share this video with your friends and anywhere you think there will be an audience for it. This is my review of the 2024 film Rebel Moon Director's Cut Part 1 Chalice of Blood, directed by Zack Snyder and co-written by Snyder, Kurt Johnstad, and Shay Hatton, based on the film The Seven Samurai, directed by Akira Kurosawa. I've often thought Zack Snyder is a great director. 300 was a masterpiece, as well as the original theatrical version of Watchmen. Man of Steel was excellent, as well as the original theatrical cut of Sucker Punch, which I thought was a vastly underrated film, Sucker Punch, and Dawn of the Dead. All of those films qualify Snyder as a master of his craft. And all of those movies have great visuals, dynamic action sequences, solid stories, and wondrous uses of slow motion. That being said, knowing how great he can be at his best, I was extremely disappointed by Rebel Moon. Part 1 Director's Cut. It's too long. The visuals are often too dark and ugly. The action sequences are bland. The story is slow, and the use of slow motion mostly falls flat, although there are some great shots. The story revolves around a small farming community which is on the planet Velt, which is attacked by a contingent of the massive Imperium, Galactic Imperium. The Imperium requires the farmers to provide a punishing amount of food for them at the harvest, enough so that the community would not be able to have both enough for itself to survive and for the invaders. So a group of the farmers, led by Cora, played by Sofia Boutella, and Gunner, played by Michiel Huisman, have to recruit a motley group of fighters to help defend the village before the Imperium comes back. Rebel Moon is based on Akira Kurosawa's The Seven Samurai, but I think that film is better. However, the best film I've ever watched based on The Seven Samurai is the original 1960 version of The Magnificent Seven, with Yul Brynner, Steve McQueen, and Eli Wallach. Ed Skrein, who plays Admiral Noble, plays the Eli Wallach character in this movie. He is not as charming and is not as funny. Although Ed Skrein is charming, but Eli Wallach in that film was extremely charming. But in this film, Ed Skrein is meant to be brutal and sadistic. But he's unrealistically evil in a heavy-handed way. It doesn't show even like that he gets a kick out of it. It doesn't even show that he enjoys it and that's why he does it. It doesn't even get to the root of why he's the way he is. He's just evil in an unrealistic way. Some of his scenes are hard to watch, including one which involves a creature with tentacles. Yes, that's a disgusting scene. And while I'm on that note, the movie is full of grotesque scenes, extending unfortunately to the design of some of the planets and the fact that there are some women dressed as men in the movie, or it appears to be, which is off-putting, and some sex sequences which are excessive and seem unnecessary. One of the reasons the best Star Wars films, which are also space operas like Rebel Moon, are great is their focus on beauty, the beauty of its themes of redemption and other themes, the beauty of its visuals, traditional morality, and the traditional roles of men and women. This is one of the reasons why Rise of Skywalker and The Last Jedi, which were departures from the traditional Star Wars mold, were such failures. Yes. A sight for sore eyes in the film is Sofia Boutella, who plays Cora. She gives a great performance for the material she is given and is great at her action sequences. I would like to see Boutella lead in other films. She certainly has the charisma and acting chops for it. And also another sight for sore eyes is the Korean actress Duna Bai, who plays Nemesis. Boy, do I have a crush on her in this film. But she's dangerous, yes. Rebel Moon was originally supposed to be a Star Wars story, and Nemesis is obviously the Jedi-like character. She's very cool, except the effect of her glowing blades is distractingly unrealistic, and it would have been better had the blades been just regular, cool metal. I didn't think I would end up saying this, but I would probably have preferred Rebel Moon had it been in the PG or PG-13 Star Wars film instead of this mess. The Star Wars aesthetic would have worked better for the film, including the music, than the mostly bland art direction Rebel Moon ended up having. It would have been better to see Dunabai wielding cool looking lightsabers instead of inferior looking swords, glowing swords. I don't mind swords, but the glowing part is what's off-putting to me. The glowing. It would also be nice to see a Star Wars movie with R-rated fight sequences. I wouldn't have minded the glowing swords, but it looks unrealistic. Yes, but with R-rated a Star Wars movie with R-rated fight sequences would be great, but without the excessive unnecessary sex sequences this film has. For people who are against violence being portrayed in films, the Bible itself has a lot of violent scenes, more violent than a lot of films. So if it is handled the right way, I don't see it as a problem. One of the things that also makes the fight sequences seem insubstantial is that the laser weapons produce an orange cauterization glow when they hit the target. So the deaths don't feel as substantial, crunchy, or bloody because of instead of spraying red blood or exposing red blood when there's a shot or a sword blow, there's mostly cauterized orange limbs and holes being blown through people. The fact that the movie has an excessive amount of use of computer-generated imagery also makes it subpar, and not even the talented Snyder elevates his visuals to beauty as he has in his previous films. Yes. Charlie Hunnam's character Kai becomes interesting towards the end, but before that, he is as bland as most of the other characters. Jimon Honsu, I'm not sure how to say his name, the great actor from Blood Diamond and Gladiator, had great performances in those movies and has one of the best characters here as a great General Titus, who is a self-destructive man riddled with alcoholism and depression and cynicism and a shell of his former self, and who was a brilliant tactician and brave soldier. The one planet that looked kind of cool was Nemesis's planet, industrialized and urban with a beautiful twilight glow. But during the twilight, not during the dark. During the dark, when it goes into the dark parts of the city, it doesn't look as good. It looks like a bad Blade Runner clone. Yeah. There were some cool shots of ships landing in the village where there were only helicopters while the movie was being filmed, but they were changed into spaceships for the final film. Also, Anthony Hopkins has a great role here as Jimmy the Robot, and he has some great monologues, but he doesn't do much in the film, and it would have been better if he had a greater role. Some people say that Snyder is not good as a director, but his films 300 and Watchmen are evidence that he is a great director. And Sucker Punch, Man of Steel, and Dawn of the Dead also are solid evidence for that. He is a talented filmmaker, but he has made something too grotesque here, too excessive and wasteful and long and boring. The movie is slow and slogs on. For the sake of completion, maybe I will review part 2, but after watching part 1, I do not feel like watching more. Part 1 has left a bad taste in my mouth. I give it a 0 out of 4 stars. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to be alerted to future videos reviewing sci-fi movies and books and presenting my own stories. And please like the video and please comment letting me know if you believe the original version or the director's cut of Rebel Moon is better, why or why not, or if you think it doesn't make a difference either way, which may be the case. And please share this video with your friends and anywhere else you think there will be an audience for it. Up next, I hope to review either the original Ghost in the Shell film, or Final Fantasy The Spirits Within, or the novel Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, or something else. I also have the novels Flashpoint by Frank Creed and Neuromancer on the horizon. If you like science fiction and space opera and Star Wars, or the idea of Rebel Moon, if not the execution, please consider buying my science fiction novels, Phantom Zero and The Swordsman and The Philosopher, now available on Amazon in physical versions, and Capitan Quito and The Barber's Daughter, which are both available on Amazon exclusively as digital editions. Phantom Zero, available on Amazon now, is about an unloved incel who travels the universe looking for a woman who will love him, but fails and pilots a great monster in exchange for access to a beautiful woman, but his conscience begins to bother him. Yes. The Swordsman and the Philosopher is a buddy story about an unlikely duo, an extremely handsome soldier called Sol Thales, who has had disfiguring plastic surgery on himself, and a chubby incel called Wallace Mack, who has a theory that if you put an ugly guy next to a sufficiently uglier guy, you can make Quasimodo look like Cary Grant. You can even make Quasimodo look like Cary Grant. Wallace Mack takes advantage of the Sol Thales' disfigurement to try to get a woman for himself, yet Thales, unaware of his disfigurement, is still as arrogant as ever. But meanwhile, an assassin dispatched from the future hunts down Thales, and both Thales and Wallace have to learn to work together to fight to save the world. Capitan Quito is a superhero short story about the world's first cyborg who happens to be a dwarf. These are all available on Amazon. Capitan Quito is available exclusively in the digital version. The Barber's Daughter, also available on Amazon, is a love story about a barber whose incel customer falls in love with his daughter. But the barber is hesitant to let the incel date his daughter because he considers his customer too ugly to date his daughter. But the story may pull at your heartstrings and at the barber's towards the end. So please get Phantom Zero, now available on Amazon. Yes, let me focus on it. Let me get this focus on it. Phantom Zero, now available on Amazon in physical form, not digital. And please get the Swordsman and Philosopher available in physical and digital. And the stories, I believe, this story is available as 99 cents is digital, about $9 in physical. And this one is about $14, but hopefully you will find it an enjoying read, and hopefully you will find it more enjoyable than Rebel Moon. That's my hope, yes, and my aspiration, yes. And if you like Star Wars, I think maybe you'd love Phantom Zero. And if you love Twins and Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Twins with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito, I think you'll love The Swordsman and the Philosopher, because it's a buddy movie with sci-fi elements and time travel. All right, so take care and thank you, and God bless you, and Jesus loves you, yeah.